Hello, welcome to Zion Finance TV, where we share with you godly Christian principles that you can use to create wealth. Now, in this video, we have the man of God, Dr. Mensa Otabil, as he shares 3 ways to overcome poverty. And he went on to give reasons why people are poor and how to overcome poverty, especially if you are someone who is living in Africa. So without wasting any time, let's just get right into the video. Support us by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing. Thank you.
Poverty is a very powerful force. People may not see it, but a lot of people's profession is based on poverty. Without poverty, they will have no job. For those people, it is important that poverty continues. A lot of the work the United Nations does is based on poverty. And for the UN to survive, people must be poor. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 15. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 15. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, but the destruction of the poor is their poverty. It's a very powerful phrase. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, but the destruction of the poor is their poverty. So that clearly tells you that poverty is a destroyer. It is that which destroys the poor. And it beats my imagination why anybody will embrace a destroyer as a friend. Or anybody will preach that a destroyer is good for you. Because the destruction of the poor man has. Wealth does not include things like cars or household items like televisions, fridges, furniture, because they are not readily converted into cash and lose value with time. So when you go to buy a brand new car, from the moment you drive the car from the lot out, it loses about 20% of its value. Just by driving it out. That means that if you bought a car, drove it out, returned it the next day, the price of your car will be discounted. So the car hasn't given you money, it has actually cost you money. It's interesting that people see possessions of things like cars as manifestation of wealth. So sometimes when you see people showing off their wealth and they say, look at my cars. And they show you all kinds of cars they have as a sign of wealth. Wealth is not seen in cars because cars do not appreciate in value, all things being equal, except it's an antique car or one-of-a-kind car. Apart from that, your car is an expense to you. To keep it alive, you have to feed it. I mean, wealth in a larger sense includes things like the blessing of God, the peace of God, health, happy marriage, family life. I know all of that is wealth, but that's not what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about wealth, I'm talking about having abundance of valuable possessions. Wealth defends the rich. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 12 says, money is a defense. Those who have money use it to defend themselves, to secure their power and their position. When you have no money, you have no defense. It's just amazing what can happen to people when they have no money. Money is a very powerful force for defense. It will defend your dignity. And when you don't have it, you may lose your dignity. There was a particular rich man who used to be in Ghana. He lived in Accra, and he supposedly had a lot of money, but nobody saw the money. And he had a very big house in Accra on McCarthy Hill. And this man used to, at the end of the year, have parties in his house. And when he has party in his house, he would display a lot of money. And he would say that he will give so much money to the one who dances the most or the best. And people will go and dance. And fathers will be competing to outdance their children. Children are competing to outdance their fathers. And as the competition gets deeper, people now start contorting their bodies in very bizarre ways and all kinds of movements simply because of money. And when you look at the people, you see that they are simply cheapening themselves, degrading themselves, destroying their own dignity because they have no defense. Never, ever in your lifetime praise poverty. Never. So what is poverty? Poverty is a lack of material resources or money. Poverty can either be absolute or relative. Absolute poverty is when you don't have enough to take care of basic needs of life. Relative poverty is when you have met basic necessities but wish for better. So relative poverty is when you want something but you can't buy it. When you want something you can't buy it, you are relatively poor. In other words, you go to a shop, you see a shoe. It will look good on your feet. You want to buy it. Everything in you says this shoe is yours. But you look at it, you turn the backside of the under of the shoe, you see the price, and you quietly put it back. That is called relative poverty. So relative poverty is when you desire something which is good for you, and it may not be something extraordinary, but it's good. Maybe you want a second pair of shoes, you want a better trouser, you want a better bed, you want, a better car, but you cannot buy it. You are not absolutely poor, but relatively poor. In relation to that thing, you are poor. In this world, the wealthy are few, the poor are in multitudes. 65 people of the world's wealthiest people own half of the wealth of the world. That's serious. Africa's wealth, your continent and my continent, at this point I think it's about 3.5 trillion or thereabouts dollars. 3.5 trillion dollars. That's a lot of money. The whole of Africa, South Africa to Egypt, Senegal to Somalia, Ghana included, Nigeria included, all of us, 3.5 trillion. The wealth of 4 companies. Apple computers, Google, Alphabet, we just crossed 1 trillion. Amazon, Facebook, the one you've been using. These 4 companies are richer than our continent. Four companies, most of them established in my lifetime, and for all of them established in my lifetime. The oldest of those companies is Apple. It was set up in 1975, the year I met Pastor Ransford. Four companies. Run the world. So in this world, wealth sets the agenda, poverty fulfills the agenda. There are people whose money determines who should govern a nation, but they need those without money to ensure that their agenda comes to pass. Those who have money are a few. The masses who have the vote have no money. So those who have the money sets the agenda for who should be governing nations. There are people whose money finances research, but they need those without money to believe in the research. So the people with money pay scientists to conduct research and tell us what is true and what is false. So one day they are going to tell you that based on their scientific analysis and based on their research, something you have believed in all your life is not true. And something all of us know doesn't make sense is right. And they will show you all the evidence. Last year, there was a very major research that was done. It included 500,000 people. That is, 500,000 people were used as the sample for the research on whether people are born gay or they learn to be gay. This is the largest such research with the largest sample base. And the results came out that scientifically, having analyzed 500,000 people, 500,000 people, there is no evidence that anybody is born gay. Have you heard about that? Why haven't you heard about it? Because somebody has determined what you should hear and what you should not hear. If that evidence had come and said the people are born gay, everybody, CNN will broadcast it from morning to evening, BBC will broadcast it morning to evening, they will disturb everybody's ear with it. But once the research goes another way, they shut it down. Because the agenda of this world is not set by the poor, it is set by the rich. And whoever wants to make you powerless, one of the most fundamental things they will do in your life is to make you not have money. The agendas of this world are set by the wealthy. One person sitting here somewhere can determine what 1 billion people should believe. You know, one of the things that amazed me, you know, when I look and study what happens in the world, you know, scientists are supposed to be objective. All of you who went to tech, who are scientists, you're supposed to be objective. You know, science is objective. Science is... And I said, well, if it's objective, why does it keep changing? One moment they said egg is not good for you. Don't eat egg. The next moment, egg is good for you. Eat 2. One moment they say coffee is not good for you. Next moment, drink 5 cups is good for your health. One moment, don't eat chocolate. Next moment, eat chocolate. So if it is objective, how come the conclusions are changing? Because science does not rule the world. Money rules the scientist. Believe you me, people who will tell you we are objective, we as far as we see the truth as it is, I'm telling you they don't. They say it according to who is paying what they are saying. And that is one of the big challenges for us as Africans. Because people set the agenda for us and we follow. Since I became aware as an adult, I have seen African countries go under IMF programs, World Bank program, structural adjustment, accelerated structural adjustment, economic recovery, HIPIC. I mean, we've gone through over and over and over and over and over and over, and I've never seen one African country come out of poverty in spite of all the monies that have been poured into our countries. So do you think if they wanted you to come out of poverty, they couldn't have done it? How can you give people billions of dollars and it doesn't change anything? Because the people giving you their money, it is in their interest that you remain poor.